Or
you want a
user
permanent?
settings. Your user settings notifications.
Okay, it's live. Now I just need to find the link. I'll just post it in general and then I'll link the video later. Did anyone watch the video from last time? Like, was the audio fine and...
Didn't see any problem.
Right, good.
Yeah, but there was this annoying voice though in the video.
Shut the fuck
It
up.
sounded like some Icelandic retard. I'm not sure who it was. Maybe some bug.
Okay,
I didn't hear you, Bjorky.
I will fix that for you,
Oh.
Bjorky. Okay, you shouldn't have that problem again.
Good.
What are you saying?
Just obvious joke as God miles away.
I think I can also just globally mute you. Yeah, that works.
Mid-sentence.
But okay, we're 32 people here, so I'll just start.
Yeah, you're gonna play Wing first then.
Yeah. So, Plague Wing is kind of simple. In the start, we just have these packs over there. So 3 ghouls and 2 slimes. The slimes have like are magic immune to like different ability. It depends on the color. Like black, if they're black, they're immune to shadow. Blue to frost. Red to fire. Green to nature. Pretty basic. And yeah, we also have these gargoyles. We have 2 patrolling and then 2 stacks of 2, I think. Here in the start, we just nuke one, kill them. They they stack a debuff up on the raid, so we have to wait. We can't like chain pull them all, and I think it's when below 50% they start the heal. So it heals to full, so it needs to die in 6 seconds after it hits 50. But then we just have these packs, and you can see like Monkey News here, he's like kiting the slime, keeping it away from the raid. And you can see like it hits him a few times, and like he goes, like they do a lot of damage, so you don't want to face tank these. Yeah, you can see here he almost died from like getting aggro from it.
So you just kite them with casters, or?
Yeah, or, I mean, kind of feels fine to just have warriors like taunting them and like slowly kiting them around. But yeah, we can also just have, like, they move so slow, we can just have casters nuke them down as well. I mean, this thrust is not really dangerous apart from, like, for melee, just like don't get aggro on the slimes and like get killed. And then there's just one more pack of these. They skip it, just go for the gargoyle and straight down. We will see how we do it. But I think it's better to kill this pack here and take the gargoyle, then you don't pull the gargoyle mid-pull.
I mean, we need the trash loot, right? So we should kill it.
We will probably just kill everything first few weeks, probably.
These gargoyles do the stacking debuff again.
Yeah, and you can see they have like 7 here, but they just like kind of surge it down. Like the rate is getting kind of low, but manageable. Then they just wait for the stacks to go off. We have one or 2 more stacks.
One quick question regarding the killing all the trash. Are we also doing that in Spider Wing?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
But do we skip? I mean, nah, we will probably skip like the trust that's out of the way, You know, like we're not gonna go.
Mm. Yeah, because that's like a lot of trash you have to do then.
I just realized what you meant. We'll like clear the trash that's in the way, but we will not go like past Maxina and you know, that trash, and like the trash in the plague wing where you can like go down from Lothep. We'll probably not do that.
The melees should make sure to grab some bread from their favorite mages before you, so you can sit down and eat here.
Yeah, or have some food with you.
Yeah, or have food, yeah.
But yeah,
Everybody tried Easter.
yeah, I heard he has a lot of backspace. And then we are on the first boss, North. He does like a teleport around every 25-30 seconds that wipes the aggro and puts a crippling potion, I think, on the melee. So we need to dispel the main tank right away. And he also does a decurse that needs to be dispelled instantly. We have 10 seconds to dispel it, and otherwise we will probably wipe. It does like a rate AoE damage and spawn some ads and stuff. We will just assign mages to groups, and you just first take care of your group, and then you help with the other groups. Like, it seems to, I guess it's ranged based, or...
No, I think it's just a random amount of members.
It's just random, yeah. Yes, I just was looking at earlier and seemed to mostly be on the melees, but yeah, it's not a hard mechanic, just dispel easy. He is also gonna spawn 3 ads every what was it? Yeah, just periodically spawns 3 ads. You can see his possible blink here. We probably want to be not have ignite up like during the blink, because like we said, it completely wipes the aggro and slows the main tank. So if the tank can easily get lose the aggro, and then it's gonna kill some melees. He doesn't hit that hard, I think, but range or mages might want to like be ready to lip, and if you have a cooldown on lip, you want to be careful. After, was it 1 minute something? 1.5 minutes, I think. He teleports away, spawns some ads, just kill them, like they die pretty easily. Just have tanks assigned to like a corner, just pick them up, kill them, they die pretty much instantly. Then the boss teleports back and we just finish him off, same as before. We'll see how, like, if we have any buffs when we get here or not. He might just flop over. They get him to 20% without any buffs.
So it's time based, not percentage based.
Yeah, it's time based. You can skip it, like skip the teleport if you have good enough DPS. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, this is the crippling that. But this boss is pretty much just do the curses, the spells, and then it's easy.
And watch the threat drops.
Yeah, 2 people died, so
Yeah,
individual.
yeah, it's melee. I guess they got cleaved by the ads or over aggroed the boss in the end. And then we have the gauntlet. It looked to be kinda easy when I was watching the PTR shit. Everything kinda just died. But we'll just try and stick together. Warriors just pick up all the small shit, help the tanks get aggro. Just run across to the right side and then follow the wall until we're into Hagen's room. Most of this doesn't do anything, like the bats and the worms. There's like some debuffs, but it's mostly the plague beasts that are dangerous, that needs to be tanked and killed. So the tanks have to make sure to pick up the plague beast and not to pull too many of them. I think we have 4 beasts or something that we kill on the way.
You could see the melee not going in.
Yeah, crucially, they need to be away from the rain.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters much in Classic.
Nah, don't they?
Yeah, but-
don't they explode when they die? The plague beasts.
I think it's just persistent AoE around them.
Melee,
We do AoE,
melee
yeah.
around them. Aura.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think it's a problem at all.
nah, you can see that like the melee are just in the range camp killing the bats so they don't kill the healers. Then you
Yes.
just move here around the corner, don't go too far, you can see where they stop when they get around. Or like fucking melee point of view. Yeah, you can see you don't want to cross this line, like this corner here, into the Hagen's room. You just stack in this corner where they're all standing, kill all the stuff, and then we get ready to pull the dance guy. So when we're ready, we just move in, you tank him here, the range go up on the platform, you want to move away from him because he does a mana drain around him. And he also puts a disease on the melee that you want to dispel. It reduces your health by 50%. And then we have the dance. You can see the slime coming up here. Then you move the boss to the second position. Wait for the slime. It comes again. Move it back. Third goes off now. And then you move to the last position. Yeah, here they had the main tank get teleported away, which kinda fucked it up for him. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be able to do that, but you can. I guess it's fine to see what happens. Like the boss kinda despawns and they just move back out of the room. I think they pulled him though instantly again because they. Yeah, it was kind of messy for them, but. Get the back in position, nuke down the ads, and then just go again. Kinda scuffed, but you can see that.
Is that a bug?
Yeah, I don't know if this was.
Don't think you can teleport the main tank.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
who knows?
it was probably a bug on like isn't this Northdale or something?
Yeah.
But anyway, they probably would have skipped the dance if it didn't bug, so it's good, I guess, for us to look at. Yes, he doesn't have any timer for it though. But I think it's just one way around, then they come here.
Then
And there's
it's
one
more,
extra.
one more step, and then
one
back
more
to the
back
start.
to the second position, and when he does this one now, then you move back to here, and the range move here as well because he teleports. And now everyone needs to move together. You don't stop for anything. You run in like a circle here, and you should be able to avoid everything. So you can see how how it changes in platforms. You can use like this platform to see in which pie you are at the moment. Like here is one from this corner down here, then like from the middle kinda down here, and then there's another one from this corner here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. See, they stop here, get one, stop here, no. Here, this one, here, and then just back. And I think this goes 2 circles.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can see here they stop,
One more, and then
one
go
more,
back.
and then the range can move back on top. Didn't he do a silence as well, or?
No, it's just the arcane explosion thing is the mana burn.
Yeah.
And if you stand on the platform while he's up as a caster, then you get like cast slow, I think, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't he have some aura that?
Yeah, it just kills you. I think.
I think it's
But,
some slowing cast and then.
It's
Yeah,
like it's like 90% slower cast or something. It's crazy.
Yeah. But,
So if you meet it, you can just.
But yeah, this is a pretty easy boss, kinda just.
He also has a disease that needs to be dispelled from the melee.
Yeah, didn't you put a paladin closer to the edge who got mana burn all the time to dispel? Because dispel is only like 30 yards, but
Yeah.
would be in range of arcane explosion if you do that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think one of them took it all the time.
Yeah, no, I don't remember if we did that, but I mean, we'll just shouldn't be too difficult. We'll just call out someone to dispel, or you can like move dispel and move back. And yeah, then they have this room. This kind of, I don't know. This was disabled on the PTR. Like
Yeah, on classic this was completely empty.
yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be like that in like on release, but this is pretty much just run through, kill the eyes, don't let them cast on you.
This is where you end up if Hagen teleports you.
Yeah, you
I
end
mean,
up
that's the
here.
part of the boss.
Yeah, you end up here and have to run back to the room. And I think if you just wait, you get killed when the dance starts. So you wanna move to the end. Like you don't just wanna wait and stay there. Is it only one guy that gets teleported each time, or
I think
is
it's
it
3.
2 to 3.
Yeah, we'll just run together and should be fine.
And if you move back, don't move into the eruption, so to say.
So you have to wait
for the raid
for
to be
it.
there and then join the dance again.
Yeah, to be on the last one, and then
Yeah.
you join.
Yeah, you probably want to like wait for it to go off, run up to the platform, and then like go. Because if you wait for the dance to start, you're probably not gonna make it all the way to the other side before it starts.
Is the damage something like Dark Glare or just really, really hard? There's
Nah, you can survive one or two, or one hit at least if you're melee.
Yeah. Most classes die in 2 hits.
Yeah. But then we have Loath Up, which so this boss is kinda special. It puts a aura on the raid that make like. No, you get the debuff when you cast a healing spell, making you unable to cast another spell for, is it 50 seconds?
1 minute.
1 minute, yeah. So you will have a rotation on the healers. So let's say Jay starts. I think we used to have macros.
Yeah.
So just Jay starts, and then he's gonna. So he casts his heal, and then he's gonna press a macro. Jay on healed. Target 2 next, and then target 2 is gonna say, okay, I've casted the heal, target 3 next, and then we can keep track of where we are in the healing order. And the only person you wanna heal is the main tank. We're probably gonna like, this is a really good boss for flash set, so Harloon will probably tank it. I think he has the best healing set.
Yes, most likely.
So, and you probably want to wear as much defense gear as you can, because the threat shouldn't be an issue on this boss, because the range or the DPS are going to be able to pick up spores that spawn every 12 seconds, and they give the 5 closest players 50% crit, and abilities no longer generate threat. And it lasts for 90 seconds, so we will have the mages get the first spore, and then we're gonna set up groups. So it's gonna be group 1 goes get the spore, moves back, group 2 goes, group 3, group 4, group 5, and then we're gonna refresh on the group 1 before, like, when everything is over. other than that, it's pretty much just a tank and spank fight. There's a little damage on the melee. They get like a poison on them. I don't know if it's worth it to dispel it with elixirs.
Dispelling. Also, no. It
does, like,
refreshes
no
like
damage.
every 6
Yeah,
seconds.
I
or
wouldn't
so
bother.
Don't.
Judgment of Light and Crusader procs, maybe Bloodthirst should tell you enough, I think.
Yeah, it's. I guess melee can always have like the elixir potions. They don't share a cooldown with anything. So if you are low and have a potion, you can dispel it.
You can also like step out. The range of the aura is like really close. If you step out and you can just wait out the poison and bandage yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. I mean, there's a set rotation though. You can't just bandage whenever.
Technically, but I don't think we're gonna make it to like
Yeah.
2 edit doom.
Yeah. I mean.
But it's the third doom, right, where you bandage first.
It dies probably like around second.
Yeah, so like we're gonna pre-pop greater shadow protection for the Doom debuff. It's gonna tick every 30 seconds. So and the first one is cast at 2 minutes and every 30 seconds after, inflicting 2,500 shadow damage. So how we do this? We're gonna pre-pop greater shadow protection, and then after the first Doom we pop another, and then on the second Doom we do nothing. After the third we bandage. On the fourth we can Hellstone, Whipper Root, and then you're probably gonna have a Shadow Protection Potion and bandage again, but I think we're gonna kill it way before that, so I don't think the Doom is gonna be an issue. But we will pre-pop one Shadow Protection Potion and then pop another during the fight.
Put it in context, Doom is like the raid-wide debuff that does a lot of shadow damage. And since you can't heal, because you can only heal once a minute and it needs to be on a tank, the raid needs to coordinate their shadow pots, bandages, health stones to survive.
Also, something I did not know, it says here that every 30-second load that removes all curses on himself.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
this happens as well.
So yeah, so the warlocks need to like keep the curses up.
You have to assign someone to yell at the warlocks. Very important.
Yeah, I mean.
Don't worry, one of the Browns will for sure.
Can we get the rack?
Where's my rack?
Guys, elements, guys!
They're gonna pop fucking shadow. But yeah, this is pretty much the Plague Wing.
So can we see the fight, how they play
yeah,
out?
I forgot where. Guess you wanna watch it.
There's a comment in raid discussion, by the way. There's a weak aura to track the cooldowns for all the healers. Should probably be mandatory.
Oh yeah, that's probably good.
Just makes everything super easy.
Yeah, they give to the mages first, the spore.
Yeah.
When they pyroblast, of course.
How many people can get it? Is it 5?
It's
Five.
five each time, and they spawn every 12 seconds, so we have time for what, 6 groups, I think.
And I assume you assign groups, like not raid groups, but depending on which DPS actually profits from it, right?
Yeah.
There's 7 groups prepared on the sheet. We had those in the Rising sheet.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's
Yeah, you get. Sockers has already implemented the next seat for us, so you can go take a look. I don't think we've assigned anything yet, but you can at least go and take a look at how it's going to look, and
yeah, there's placeholder values in there for Kel'Thuzad and Loadheb.
As you see, when the tank ran in, he had full prot gear, shield, popped the stone shield, so he can survive a while.
yeah. I don't know if they like. I don't think the flask meta had started here, but
No, it wasn't a thing yet.
I guess Lay on Hands counts as a heal. Do you want to keep like one paladin in an emergency case?
yeah, I don't know. Didn't we used to like lay on hands the tank before the pull for the armor buff, or
Not sure.
I mean,
Can the-
there's no reason not to do it because you only need mana for one heal, right?
Yeah, you can put that paladin as last healer, like 10th, so you can regen some mana.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should do that. We'll just
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
see with like. Yeah, we'll either assign it or just decide when we go, since I don't know if paladins are gonna be able like have it on cooldown or what. But yeah, other than that, the boss kind of melts with DPS.
It's just
just
groups
gonna,
going to the spore.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and like always be calling out the groups for the. Wait, what's this Lothar position helper?
Private service.
I'm just looking at the seeds. I don't remember using this Lothar position helper.
What do you mean?
Just have to position the boss a bit to the left or right. So the
I
spores
think on
are-
Classic the spores
on the
can
other
come
side.
from any of the 4, right?
No,
Yes.
they're
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
they
far
can.
furthest away.
Oh, really?
They have 4 spawn points, and if you put the boss like a bit to the left, they will always spawn on the right.
Ah, okay, cool.
Let's go. What do you mean?
I don't know. I was just watching the sheet, like this.
Position helper.
Yeah.
It's to make sure you have everyone in the sheet assigned to a position. So the position helper tells me Agri is missing a position. Now I can put Agri in.
Oh yeah.
And
Here.
now I see Agri has a position, so he's removed from the list.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
I totally invented that myself and didn't copy it from another sheet. Someone else did.
Okay.
Well done. sir.
Here
Thank
is the. Yeah, we'll just assign these groups, and then I'm gonna call out group 1 now, group 2, group 3. So you have to remember what your group number is. But
There's no big deal if not 5 people. It's not fully
Oh,
used.
it is a big deal. If it's like one person there and you kill the spore because you think, fuck, I want to go back to parsing, the other 4 people can't get the spore and cannot DPS.
No,
So
but
you should
there's
wait.
no penalty other than lost DPS. That's what I
Oh,
mean.
no.
For yourself now.
Not for yourself, but for
But
all the
for
other
others.
people you cuck who can't get in there because they will not be able to pick up another spore in the next group.
Hmm.
yeah, so it is kind of important that you wait to kill the spore, and that until everyone is there, and that everyone moves as soon as your group is up. You move in position and are ready to stand next to it.
That doesn't mean you wait forever. If you stand there with 4 people and the 5th person isn't coming, then fuck him and destroy the thing. But if you
Yeah,
see
of course,
he's moving
there's-
towards you, don't cuck him
Yeah.
intentionally just to improve your parses.
Yeah,
Not
Maybe
waste
don't
it.
charge them.
yeah, definitely don't charge them. Just run. But yeah, it's kind of simple boss with as if everyone follows the assignments, and yeah, and that weak aura is probably gonna be a big help. And
For healers, just wear your max healing set so you can land a big fat heal when you need to.
yeah, I don't know if don't remember. Did they say that like patching a heal and a hot worked on?
Oh, no, it doesn't.
PTR. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay. Jay.
Oh boy, Death Nightwing. Right, so the Death Nightwing or Military Wing is probably the longest of the 4 wings, and generally I'd say the hardest. There's also lots of trash before the first boss that's pretty annoying, so I'll try to go over it pretty fast. First 2 pools are these 1 Death Knight and 2 Risen Death Knights. The 2 Risen Death Knights don't do anything. Look, they wait for the patrol to go away. No, they don't. Right, can you pause the video?
Yep.
Right, so the previous pack had a Death Knight and 2 Risen Death Knights. The Risen Death Knights randomly drop threat, like the Annihilators in MC. And the Death Knights have a Fear, and they do a D-curse on the a curse on the tank that reduces healing. So we're just gonna stack them up, focus the Death Knight, and cleave the others down. Tanks, just be aware of the threat drop. Then there's this pack, which is a Shade of Naxxramas and 2 Necro Knights. The Necronites cast Arcane Explosion. On the PTR they apparently cast it quite often. And the Shades have a Shadow Bolt Volley that you could just see, and they summon a red portal, like the Warlocks in Blackwing Lair. I think we'll just focus down the Necronites, because on the PTR they did the most damage. And the portal from the Shade summons Spooks. I think we know what to do with Spooks.
Is it an instant or a cast?
The Arcane Explosion?
Both.
The Arcane Explosion was... I think they're both instants. Like, I didn't see anyone mentioning they could be
I
interrupted.
think they're
Yeah. I mean, it might still be worth to get Curse of Tongues on them, and then
Yeah.
we'll see if that actually matters or not.
We can try. But move away from the Spooks. We kill the Necronites first, and then we focus the Shade. The Shade itself isn't that dangerous. You can go again. There's the red portal. Shadow was only and a spook. The spooks don't move. There they go. Yeah, move away, just like Soul Group. And here's another Death Knight and 2 Risen Death Knights. Death Knight fears, so we want to pull them back around the corner so we don't get feared like this. Then you get Death Knight Captains. These are very fun mobs for melee. They hit the tank pretty hard and they do a whirlwind, and the whirlwind also knocks you down so you can't move out. So if they see whirlwind melee, just move out. You have some time to react, don't risk it.
It's kind of like X-Thralls in CG.
Yeah.
I think you can disarm the captains, so that's...
Yeah, you can disarm them even while they're whirlwind. These are skeletal smiths. They don't hit the tank hard, but they do have a thunderclap that hits for like 1k nature damage. So you probably want to spread them out. Maybe 2x2, something like that.
Yeah, also don't get caught in 2 whirlwinds at once. Like, if that ever happens.
Yeah, we're definitely going to spread the captains out too. And just kill them one by one. You can also lip the whirlwind, but melee, just be careful, it's not worth it. But can you pause it? There's also going to be a packs of 4 like these. They have a Death Knight Captain, and a Dark Touch and a Death Touch Death Knight. The Death Knight, as before, it fears and it curses the tank that needs to be decursed. The Captain spins, so we'll drag him off to the side and we'll stack the last 2 mobs, which just randomly drop threat again. With the Death Knight, we'll focus the Death Knight and cleave the 2 small ones, and then kill the Captain last. We can just put it back, pull the Captain off to the side somewhere so that it's safe, and just focus the Death Knight.
Yeah, we can like pre-cast on the skull, like they did there, like the skull just died when it came to them.
One thing the Death Knight also does is it raises ads from other dead mobs, but they're not really noteworthy, they don't do much. I think you can see it a bit later. There are 2 more Captains. We're just gonna split them up again. Be careful for the whirlwind.
Are we skipping the dudes on the left here?
No, we're killing them. These are called bony constructs. Their only ability is that they have a cleave, so they just spread them out, face them towards the wall like this, so the raid doesn't get cleaved, and just kill them one by one.
They also have an enormous knockback.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's why they put them to the wall like this.
Not sure if they had that on PTR, but it's good to put them to the wall anyway. There you go. They kill the Necro Lord first. That's the Arcane Explosion boy. There's 2 more Shades. Shadow Bolt Volley. The Shadow Bolt Volley does do a lot of damage, but they don't spam it, so we can out-heal it. And then there's 2 Death Knights and 2 Captains. We'll stack the Death Knights and cleave them down and direct the 2 Captains off to the side for the whirlwind. 1 Captain left, 1 Captain right. As you can see, all the little ads, the Death Knights spawn them from other corpses. If we get them, just whirlwind and cleave them down. And then there's gonna be a few more of these packs. Like I said, there's a lot of trash before the first boss. More packs of 4. We have Death Knight, Captain, 2 small ones. Again, struck the Captain off, kill the Death Knight.
Zaxo can hear you breathe.
I'm not entirely sure why they choose to focus the small ones. They pretty harmless. They just drop threat.
I think
Didn't
it's
they
just
run
to-
away at some point?
Yeah,
Like flee?
probably. I'm not sure.
I think it's just because they can like just nuke them out of the fight, like kinda before they even have a chance to do anything.
Where they actually run away, and if they get away and at that point, then they will add the packs that you didn't kill towards the boss. It's very, very annoying.
Can I
You
ask
have to
something?
clear everything
Yeah, of
anyway.
course. There's
Is
not much
there
going on.
any nature damage besides the thunderclaps from a while back? Because I'm seeing
Thinking.
him have Aspect of the Wild.
Yeah,
the
probably
whole time,
because Plague Wing,
No.
but we don't even need it in Plague Wing, I think.
I don't think there's any nature damage outside
Isn't
them.
Hagen at nature?
Yes.
I mean, the hunter probably just forgot to swap
Yes,
after
yes, yes.
Plague Wing.
Okay.
In general, it's just very important to pull packs way back because, as you can see, they fear the Death Knights. So we need constant fear wards on the tank. But you know, melee rogues especially, you're just kind of screwed. More Death Knights and captains.
Yeah, rogues make sure to activate sprint before you get feared.
And that's the last pack of the upstairs section. And we're still not at the boss because there's more trash to go. So in general, we'll just play careful, just pull way back so we don't get feared and add. Move the captains away, melee, don't risk it, it's not worth it. Right, so downstairs there are Death Knight Cavaliers and Death Lords. They function exactly the same actually. The main mechanic is a stacking debuff, a stacking Curse of Agony pretty much. It can't be dispelled. It's a bit like the Gargoyles, if you remember those, that did the stacking debuff. It's a different spell. So traditionally, you would split them up and bring them up one by one so you could line of sight. But I think we'll just go down and kill the first patrol of 3. So save Death Wish and Blade Flurry for that. A bit hard to see in this VOD because they're doing the traditional method. They also death coil their tank. And it can't be fear, it's a horrified effect, so the tank will just be running around for 3 seconds. And they cleave, which always hits 4 melee targets. As you can see, they're actually gonna wipe here because they pulled way too much.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they fucked it up. This is like
Probably the same hunter.
this is like 4 or 5 of the big guys who do a stacking debuff, so that's way too much to handle, and also lots of small ones.
There was like 16, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
You could also see that the model coil was not dispellable. It was not like the normal Warlock model coil.
I think there's like 3 patrols or something.
Yeah. So we're just gonna be careful.
Walk of Shame?
And we're back.
Do you remember if these horses are tauntable?
Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
they should be.
Okay.
There's also more of the little guys that drop threat and run away. But in general, like on these packs, just focus the big guy, he does the stacking debuff. And it's important that we wait for the debuff to fall off before we go on. We have to clear this entire area. These are skeletal steeds. Yeah, whatever. They intercept the random players and they do AoE damage, physical AoE damage around them. So if if you pull too many and they all intercept in your range and do the AoE, it's bad news. So we're just gonna be careful, pull them 2 by 2.
Yeah, they die pretty fast, so
Yeah, they die really
just
fast.
take them one by one and just clear them slowly.
The only risk here is if you overpull and they charge throughout the raid, then everybody gets AoE down. Alright, priests, are you ready for this one?
Oh, why?
Go white. Right, so this is the first boss. That took a while. It's Resuvius. You probably already know his main mechanic is that he needs to be tanked through mind-controlled ads. And his second mechanic is a Disrupting Shout that burns 4 to 5k of your mana. and deals twice that amount of damage. So if you're a mage, for instance, and you're just casting and you ignore it, you're just gonna instantly die. I wanted to try the positioning they use in this video. I think it's really smart. So as you can see, the ads are going to be marked up. 2 priests are going to mind control, and the pull is very important. You need to pull when Vesuvius is in the back, and the front 2 understudies, they're called, the front 2 ads, X and Triangle, are mind soothe. You can see they're waiting, they're getting ready. Vesuvius will constantly keep patrolling and randomly stop to talk to one of his understudies. You can see the ads are mind soothed. He's talking to the back one.
Yeah, you can see the priest Honko. He moves down here, ready to MC.
One thing that I want to try, if you can look at the range frames, the priest that's starting is in the top right. He already burned most of his mana. So when the first disrupting shout comes, you'll see their positioning, he won't die. That's something we need to do.
Yeah, so he dumps all of his mana, just as enough mana for one mind control. Moves down here and mind controls the X.
Right, so the fight starts. Vesuvius goes for the understudy. The 3 tanks we have all pick up an understudy each and drag it to the north. And the understudy takes it here. This is the positioning we'll use, if you can pause it here. As you can see, all the mana users are off to the right. And when a triumphant shout comes, that's the mana burn, they go hide behind the pillar. The shout comes every 25 seconds without exception. From the pool, it's 25 seconds, and then obviously every 25 seconds after that. The 3 remaining understudies are tanked just to the north, so that the priest that has to mind control next can just chill behind the wall and not have to worry about this shout. As you can see, Hancho is down there. He burned the mana. And as you can see by his HP, top right of the rage frames, he survived the first shout because of it.
Yeah, and the second priest, the mind controls, he you have one mind control on the pull, and then the next one when the mobs are up here. And you can see it's Rolf, this guy, that's so he's line of sighted, but can mind control the ads. And then he moves in and taunts off Honko's ads when they're about to
And for a priest you need 4% hit, I think. And the ads have 2 abilities. They have a taunt and a shield wall, both of which last 20 seconds. When a mind control gets dropped, an understudy is immune to being mind controlled for 60 seconds. So you can probably see where this is going. Abilities last 20 seconds, they're immune for 60 seconds, and there are 4 ads. We're gonna have 2 priests mind controlling, and your main job as a priest is basically to communicate which mark you're mind controlling, which mark you're dropping, and which mark you're taking next. So they start the fight. The first priest pops taunt, pops shield wall, drags it into position. Then after about 10 seconds, the next priest goes to mind control, brings in the new ad. When the first shield wall wears off, he taunts, he mind controls. And the first priest goes back to the position, waits 10 seconds, mind controls, waits for the shield wall to go off, etc. So it's all about communication with the priest. The positioning,
really nice.
Yeah, as you can see, the positioning like this is very simple. You don't have to ever worry about being in line of sight for shout.
No.
Yeah.
And
What went wrong here?
I think the mind control broke and Vesuvius went for the priest instead. But private level thing though. Because mind control was so fucking broken on the shit server.
Yeah, I think the problem is here that Honko hasn't been able to MC another ad. So, the diamond one is breaking and he doesn't have a new one ready to taunt.
And that's why priests need to communicate all the time. Give us a countdown if you have your shield wall up and it's about to expire. Just give us a nice countdown, 3, 2, 1, so the next priest knows exactly when to taunt and when to pop his shield. We had it in the past where the priest would just go yeah, my shield wall wore up. Could someone taunt, please? And at that point, it's too late because the next priest is like, yeah, what the fuck do you expect me to do that? So give us time to react, give a countdown, talk, use your microphones. That's what the voice is for.
And it might be worth to check your DVM settings because I'm very, very certain that there's like information for that where you see the duration of the shield wall and so on.
Yeah, you can see here that Honko was just a little bit too late. Like he has his ad MC'd, but he didn't get to taunt the boss before he moved, and he moves over and like just one-shots him.
Yeah. Priest, make sure your pet bar is enabled for the mind control. Yeah, every week we're gonna have 2 priests doing the mind controlling, so we'll probably rotate it. So every week.
Is this rogue evasion tanking it?
Yeah.
Yes.
What a jam.
You can make sure your bars are working by just mind controlling any random target outside any city, probably, just to make sure your bar is there and it's working. Like you can actually click the buttons and it's not obstructed by invisible whatever.
And as you can see, the positioning was very simple, and the ad only has 2 abilities, or 3, I guess. You taunt, you shield wall, or you drop it, and then it's immune for a minute. So you need to remember which marks to take. Last note, melee, be careful. The ads don't have any ability to generate threat. They only auto-attack, that's it. We can buff them to make them auto-attack for more. But so, threat might be an issue if the taunts don't overlap perfectly. So just keep that in mind. Have a lick ready.
How much healing do the ads need?
Sorry?
How much healing do the ads need?
You don't heal anything else.
Yeah, you only have to heal the ads. It should be fine.
And
You
the
usually
tank.
have shield wall up, so it's nothing more than normal, really. Can you pause it for a second? Are there any questions about that fight? Maybe from the priest?
There's one more thing I want to add. Like, you don't want to put any debuffs on the ads. Like, you don't want Sanders or Demo Shout or something because they have to tank the boss. If they have Sanders on him, they just die, maybe.
Yeah. Especially Demo. If you demo the ads, it's just even less threat for the melee to work with.
So just Heroic Strike tanking Bloodthirst. But it's not threat issue, so it should be fine, right?
Yeah.
No
It's
melee
totally
should attack them
fine.
at all. So there will be no other threat other than healing threat probably on it.
Yeah,
So-
you don't have to do a lot of threats, as Sok said. There's only healing threat to worry about. Every other damage dealer is on the bus.
And also don't like go for damage as a tank there. Just put on a shield, casually tank it, lean back, like take a sip of water in between. It's really, really chill for tank.
Be ready to shield wall the taunt if the boss gets loose, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the understudies really don't do a lot of damage on the tank, so it will just assign like, I don't know, 1 or 2 healers to them. Should be fine. Up next, on the way to Gothic, are these floaty weapons. There are 3 types: axes, staves, and swords. The most dangerous one is probably the axe. It has a mortal strike, a whirlwind, and a sweeping strike. So I think all our warriors know what sweeping strike whirlwind does. They're a bit like the ads in Skolomans in the basement. So if you get more than one of them, make sure to spread them out properly. The staves do Arcane Explosion, Frost Nova, and Polymorph. Dispel the tank for Polymorph. Dispel any unfortunate melee that didn't roll Nomen or caught far away. And just keep the melee topped. And the swords have they cleave up to like 10 targets. You'll just have to heal through it. And they have a trash mechanic like the Drakes in Black Lair that they do every 10 seconds. So the tanks might take a lot of damage. Nothing we can do, just healers be aware of it. Keep the tanks topped.
There's somebody in raid discussion that had a question.
Ooh.
Come on, Leos. What did you want to know?
Any question?
Picking a weird time to be shy.
Oh, sorry.
It was just AFK deal, it's fine.
No, I was just wondering. I guess it's just like the first priest who does the pull that moves like down the ramp, and the second priest still stands like up and keeps mind controlling from there. It's only
Yes.
like the first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only the first priest, the initial pull needs to be
Yeah.
all mana and down the ramp, and the rest can just hide and be safe forever.
And after that, the first priest also moves to the rest of the range.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, you can see here, like both of them are standing here, just out of line of sight of the boss, but in range, like they're able to MC the ads that are up here.
There's nothing really much to add about all the floaty weapons. They're just kind of annoying, I guess. Yeah, if we get 2 of them, just spread them out.
What did the swords do? What'd you say?
They cleave, which
Trash.
hits like 10 people, and they have a trash mechanic like the dragons in Black Lair. They do it like every 10 seconds. There's not much we can do, just keep the tank top.
We always split them, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, if you get 2, just split them. Because if you have like a sword which cleaves and an axe that does sweeping structural whirlwind, it's bad news for the melee.
Or mage staff that does arcane explosion.
Yeah. Lots of AoE. As usual, melee whipper roots are really nice to have. There's some more trash up to Gothic, a few more packs, I think 2 or 3.
Axes and swords are invisible night elves. I never noticed.
Yeah.
It's also going to be interesting if you can disarm them.
As you can see here, more of the Death Knight, the big guys. They do the stacking aura and the death coil again. Depending on the patrol, we'll pull them first. We'll just pull them back against the wall or something. But same routine. They pretty much have to die before we die. I think the 3rd and 4th tank can be ready to taunt if the main tank gets feared. Is that how we used to do it?
Yeah, we had 2
Yeah.
assigned on the mobs, and then just be ready to taunt.
So like Harloon and Byogi on one, and then Agri and Benny on the other.
Yeah, sounds good.
And these are more of the Arcane Explosion boys. As you can see, kill them first. I forgot to mention they also have a Blink ability and a Frost Nova. I don't think the Blink ability does anything
Probably never
special
see
to
that
them.
blink.
Yeah. More shades, more shadow bolts, more spooks, more moving away from spooks.
Or just walk through them, it seems. I guess the spooks didn't do anything on this server.
They
No,
skip
they
this
were
pack,
bugged.
I think. But
Yeah,
on
they skip
PTR you can't skip it, so we just have to kill it. I think it's like a Death Knight again. What the fuck? It's like a Death Knight again and more of the Arcane Explosion boys. And then we get to Gothic. Gothic is like a mix of Twins and Razorgore. You have 2 sides, the living side, which they're now, and the dead sides with all the piles. Caster DPS go on the living side. Most melee DPS will go on the death side. And it's a 2-phase fight, just like Razorgore. First phase, mobs will spawn in the living side. If they die there, they'll go to the dead side and then have to be killed again. Let me see when this started.
Are they using arcane protection here?
Yeah, they use arcane protection, the melee on the side.
I can quickly go the abilities. On the living side, you have trainees, which I don't think do anything, just melee. Then you have Death Knights, which leave a debuff on you. And what the debuff does, it allows you, the 3rd mob that spawns, called Riders, to Shadow Bolt volley you. So they work together like that. And once they die, they go to the dead side, where the trainees turn into little specters that do Arcane Explosion. The Death Knights have a cleave and a mana burn, and the Riders turn into 2 mobs, Rider and Horse. The Rider has an unholy aura that does AoE damage, like Riven there in Stratholm, think of him. And the Horse hit tanks somewhat hard and has an AoE stomp. So they're starting it. As you can see, the melee has to wait for the living side to kill mobs before they transfer over to this side. There you go. Mobs die, they come here. These are the little trainees that die. They have an Arcane Explosion now. And a Fear, it seems, but I don't think they had it on PTR. They're very low HP, so they should die really fast. Like, look how fast it dies. And just like Razorgore, it starts off really slow, and then the longer it goes, the more mobs and high-level mobs start spawning in. The trainees are the simplest, then the Death Knights and then the Riders. Important to note for living side, all the priests are gonna be there, or maybe all but one. On private servers, you used to have to shackle a lot to keep it somewhat under control so the melee side doesn't get overwhelmed. Just keep that in mind. It's about the two sides should have to communicate about how much they can take. Because if you flood the dead side with mobs, they're just gonna get AoE to that, but all the arcane explosions.
Hmm.
But again, by all accounts, on the PTR, it seemed so much easier. So maybe we can just blast it. I'm not sure. Yeah.
He's on the death side as well.
Yeah, it's really hard to find a VOD on the living side actually.
Yeah. I don't remember why. Like, did we keep mobs shackled until the end of the fight, or?
Yes.
Or like, do we just want to kill everything and just?
I think we just want to kill everything, really.
In classic, just kill.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Oh, as you can see, there's rider and horse. The rider has pretty low HP, so you just want to maybe focus the horse and cleave the rider down with him, or focus the rider because he has the unholy aura. And this goes on for exactly 4.5 minutes. Note that after 4.5 minutes, when Gothic appears in the room, the ads don't run away like Razorgore. They stay there, so they have to be killed.
How much do they have left?
There you go, Gothic Harvester into the fray. Means Gothic. Gothic always goes living side first. He will pretty much spam Shadow Bolts at the highest threat target. The Shadow Bolts actually do a lot of damage, so healer needs to be aware of that.
He actually shadow bolts multiple people.
Oh, did he on PTR?
Yeah, apparently hits 2 to 4 people for some reason.
That's not like a thing that you have to worry about.
Yeah,
No.
just healers beware. It does do a lot of damage, but there's not much else you can do except out heal it. And then he will teleport back and forth, I think, every 30 seconds. Or 20, until he reaches 30% and then the gates open. But really, if you get at that point, he has so low HP. He has like 400k, I think.
He also has like a stacking stat
Yeah.
reduce, but it's like also not really dangerous.
And then we're on our way to 4 horsemen. There's just more trash, more of the same we've seen before. More shades, more ghouls, more acolytes, as you can see. The most dangerous part about this is getting both gargoyles and there's also a patrol of big riders that do the stacking debuff. You don't want to pull them both. That's just bad news. Yeah, more Shadow Bolt Volley, more Arcane Explosion, Shadow Bolt Volley acolytes.
Yeah, you can see here that they moved down because they saw the patrol coming.
Yeah, the
just
gargoyles.
Yeah, first the horses and then the gargoyles, I think. I think the horses are down the ramp. They patrol up all the way over here.
Because as you can imagine, if you get both gargoyles and horses, that's too much for the raid to handle. Ideally, you want to wait for this debuff to wear off before you take a new stacking debuff too.
Time to eat again.
Yep. Thank you for the bread, user.
Just penetrate off forehead.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That will probably be the meta in like top tier speedruns.
1000 Lotus per run.
Yeah.
I mean, they limit Petri, so
Maybe
not for every pack.
And as you can see, more spooky skeletons and a big guy. They focus the skeletons. I'm not sure what are these. Guardians. Frost Nova, more of the same, just different name.
Same thing, just more HP.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of differently named mobs that have the exact same abilities. As you can see here are more of the dogs that we also went through in the Spider Wing. Pull them around the corner and face them against the wall. Because they do the knockback. The ghouls do the cleave and the frenzy at 50%.
I think the mobs in the outer wings are almost the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think good to know. I think you can seep the hounds and like shackle the ghouls. It's good to know if you like pull too much. Mages and priests try and CC something.
Yeah, but we should just play it safe. Okay, just do
Yeah.
one pull at a time.
Yeah, just I don't think these have any fear mobs, so we shouldn't pull anything that we don't want to.
As you can see, this is what I meant with the wing with the most trash. It took ages to get to the first boss, and now you have to clear a whole bunch to get to the horseman. And another shade, more shadow bolts, more spooks, more ghouls incoming. It's weird that they don't move. You should just follow a player like they usually do. More dogs, more ghouls. Keep in mind you can stun the ghouls when they frenzy at 50%. Priest.
Casually just cleaving a priest in the face.
I'm saying every warrior should go concussive blow.
Yes, the deep prop meta is the way to go actually. Oh boy. I have to say, I'm not looking forward to explaining this fight.
To have to wait for that patrol?
Good luck, team.
I don't think you have to.
Just like patrols walking in front of the room.
It like walks all the way to here, so you kind of want to kill it, so you don't have people pulling in the back or something.
Why is the gate closed?
You can click it.
Just have to move to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have two warriors on it, because one's get death coiled. As you can see, Monk News just takes over. Don't think you want to take it that close to the slime, right? Because if you get feared in, that's not nice.
Yeah, I think because they didn't clear the ghouls in the other room.
Right.
Did they summon more healers, or I just saw summons? I didn't.
I think they're switching players.
Yeah, that's what I asked.
Looks like it.
They said bench time.
I can tell you we'll just go in with 10 healers and
2.5 per side?
Yeah.
You don't need that much in the back.
Yeah, it will be... With a rotation, there should usually be 3 healers in the front and 2 in the back. Even in the back, you can 1 heal it for a while, it's okay. For sure they'll go in any day now. Oh, you can pause it here. So, 4 horsemen. I think it's a pretty interesting fight, but it's also very long and pretty complex compared to most fights we had so far. As you can see, the 4 horsemen apparently have 4 horsemen, Each will go in a corner. Morgraine will go north. The Thane will go in the east corner, if you look at the minimap. Blemo will go in the south corner. And Ziliak will go in the west corner. Each horseman has one unique mechanic, and they also share a mechanic. The shared mechanic is also the main mechanic of the fight. It's the marks. 21 seconds, I think, after the pull, and then every 13 seconds after that, you gain a mark of the horseman you're within 70 yards of. So let's say you're near Morgraine. When the first mark goes out, you gain 1 mark of Morgraine. And then every 13 seconds after that, you gain another mark. With each application of the mark, you take more damage. 1 mark, it kind of tickles, doesn't do much. 3 marks starts really hurting, and if you gain 5 marks of the same one, unless you're a tank, you're dead. So this forces the raid to have constant movement, to bring in players without marks, while players with marks move out. One note on that, when a horseman dies, his spirit stays in place and will continue applying marks, so you can't cheese the fight by nuking one and then using that as an entire save spot. Each horseman also has a unique mechanic. Morgraine, the one in the north corner, has a chance to do a lot of fire damage to the tank. I think it's 25% for him to do a fire attack that will also leave a dot on the tank that does fire damage.
Kind of like Ragnar's dot.
Yeah, pretty much. So the tanks could consider wear like maybe 2 or 3 fire resistance pieces that are really good. I'll leave it up to you. The Thane has a meteor. I think we all know meteor by now from AQ. Blemo, the one in the south, has void zones. What do we do with void zones? We don't stand in them. It's that simple. And Ziliak is like a mini Cthulhu. He has a big chaining beam of holy damage that doubles the damage for every player it links. So I thought about the best way I can describe this fight is by going for each role, DPS, tank, and healer, because every role will experience this fight differently. For instance, I'll start with healers, because that's the one I'm most familiar with. Healers are different from the rest because we rotate on all 4 for the entire fight. Before we start, you will be assigned a boss to start with and a number. So for instance, who do you have here? Remy will be assigned Ziliak and first mark. That means on pool, you go with the Ziliak tank, and then when the first marks go out, you start rotating. So you go from Ziliak, which is the western boss. Let's see on the map. You go from the western boss, and then you go to Morgraine, and then once you're at Morgraine, you stay there and you heal the tank until you have 3 marks. Then you go to Thane, then you wait there until you have 3 marks. Then you go to Blemo, and then you wait till you have 3 marks. And you go to Ziliak, heal till you have 3 marks. And all healers do this for the entire fight. The reason why every healer will be assigned a different number at the start is to stagger our rotation. Because as you can imagine, if we all rotate at 3 marks right from the start, there will be periods of time where there's no healer at one of the corners. So it's important to, before you go in, where you're starting and what your initial rotation number is. Other than that, once the initial rotation is done, like you move on your first or the second mark or the third mark, then it's always 3 marks. You don't change it. You don't stay until 5 marks for whatever reason. You always switch at 4, so the healers keep staggering their movement. The only thing you need to pay attention to is if you need to stay in at Thane because he has a meteor, and you eat a 4th mark, then the next boss you're at, you will move at 2 marks to keep the rotation intact. DPS will be split in 3 groups. DPS will be focused on the front 2 bosses, Morgraine and Thane. Those are the ones who kill first. And yeah, as I said, 3 groups. Group 1 will, for instance, start at Morgraine, then go to Thane, and then go to Safe Spot, which is in the middle, at the bottom of the stairs. Group 2 will start at Thane, then go to the Safe Spot, and then go to Morgraine. And then the 3rd group will start at the safe spot, go Morgraine, go Thane, and then back to the safe spot. So you have 3 DPS groups, each independently of each other, rotating at 3 marks.
You say DPS, but you mean melee, right?
Well, no. The ranged also goes, because you need to eat the marks and distribute them. And the tanks, this is the rule I know least about, so Agri, if you can chime in and help me here.
Yeah, I don't know if I can actually help right now. I think I need to install a few drivers first, and you do tank thing later because my PC is quite unstable.
Nice, it's okay. I'll just explain as best I can. So in total we have 8 tanks. We'll have the 4 Pesker tanks on the front 2, Thane and Morgraine, because they do the most tank damage with their debuff and the Meteor. So it will be Agri, Harloon, Byogi, and probably Benny. And then we'll have 4 tanks in the back, because they do the least damage. Obviously, if you start on you either start on a boss, which you drag it to the corner, or you stay in the middle. And then I think after the second mark, you start moving in to your assigned tank, and you taunt it. And it's important that you don't move away until the boss is taunted. At which point you'll move back to the safe spot. Once you're at the safe spot, you keep an eye on the amount of marks the other tank has that you're backing up for. And then once he has 2 or 3, you start moving back in again, ideally to get ready to taunt it. So for instance, if you start on Mograine, you tank Mograine until the second tank comes in to take over. The other tank taunts it, you move to Thane to see if you can taunt that, and then you move back to the middle to drop your marks. And then you move back to Mograine, Thane, middle. And you pretty much do that until the front 2 bosses are dead.
Yeah, you can see the front rotation from Skeeto. Like, he starts tanking Thane, puts it in the corner, waits for 3 stacks, I think. Then he, yeah, you can see. I think he actually lost aggro there.
Now you might think, oh, this is all very easy, you just count to 3 and move away, but Thane prevents that because of his Meteor. You can't leave the tank alone on Thane. So on Thane you actually have to keep a close eye out on the Meteor instead of the mark. So if your third mark just hit, but the Meteor is coming in 3 seconds, you can't move yet. You have to wait another 3 seconds, wait for the Meteor to land, and then move out while the other group moves back in.
Sorry, so we move in or 2 or 3, do we just taunt off immediately, or do we wait for like the 4th mark?
No, taunt off as soon as you can.
Yeah, there's really no point in staying there waiting, because then you're just both eating marks, right?
There's also the possibility of taunt resisting, so you need to be able to taunt it a second time before the tank dies, so you want the buffer time.
And once you got relieved by another tank, you just keep moving to your next target as soon as possible.
As you can see, this is the safe spot at the bottom of the stairs. If you tank each one of them in the corner, this is the safe spot where you don't eat any marks.
This is I don't know what he's doing right now, because this is not what you should be doing. Like, every time you go from Morgraine, you should go straight here and not to the safe spot first. I think someone fucked up somewhere here.
It depends what you do. It's like different threads. You can either go like horse, safe spot, and then horse again, or you go horse, safe, alternating.
Okay, so these guys are doing a different tactic than what we used to do.
Yes.
We'll have initial, like, where you start out on the sheet, but after that it's a lot of personal responsibility, because you have to know when you have to move. Lesko can't tell you when you have to move. He can't keep track of 39 people.
But it also seems the stacks, like when he gets an initial one, and then when he gets a second one, it's not like it's 2 minutes again, right? It doesn't refresh the time, because see, he got 5th like not 1 minute ago, he got it 10 seconds ago. But it's still 45 seconds.
You mean the marks?
Yeah, the mark keeps the timer of the original one. So on every
it should refresh.
No, it should refresh, I think.
But you can rewind and check. Like, check this, I don't know what is this, metamorphosis mark.
75 seconds from last time applied.
Yeah, turn back when he gets the 5th.
Yeah, okay, let's see here. Okay, so he has 3, 2 minutes, 4, 2 minutes. Then the 7th mark is coming here. It's 5.
Yeah.
Now he gets 5,
2,
okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Also sped
12,
up, I think.
13.
Are you really gonna?
You see?
There.
No, it's sped up.
It's 75 seconds, so it got refreshed, and then it's 60 plus 15. Like it shows 2 minutes until it's below 60, you know. So it is 75 seconds. Like it does refresh.
Yeah, as you can tell, it's a hard fight to just explain. We kind of have to do it. But if we're gonna wipe, we're gonna wipe here. It's practice until you get into a rhythm of how you're supposed to move. Because, as said, it differs for every role, and it's just personal responsibility. You have to keep track of your stacks and where to be. We can't tell 39 people where to go.
Also, if like something goes wrong, you have to speak up. Like if a tank dies, and like for example, a tank dies at Thane, then you have to say one tank death at Thane, and then some other tank has to step in, maybe from the other side, and then keep the other side at like 3 tanks. Or a healer dies, and then there's maybe some less healing on some boss for a moment. And that's the only thing you say, like nothing else. Like you have to shut up about everything else about in this fight. Only thing that really matters, you have to speak up.
Because the main reasons you die here is taunt resist, obviously, or healers fucking up their rotations, and there's no healer at the tank dies. Because once the ad get loose, it's pretty much always game over. Once marks start getting extra marks because there's an ad loose, it completely screws up the entire rotation.
You mentioned something about ghosts when they die. Like
yeah, when they die, they remain in their spirit remains in the spot and will still do their abilities. Not all their abilities, but it will still melee you, so don't get close. Obviously, there's no reason to go there, and it will still cast the marks in the same 70-yard radius. So you can't cheese the fight by nuking one and using half the area as safe zone. It will still cast marks.
Okay, so just stay away from there. It's not like
And it matters where they die. So if they die in a fucked up position because some over aggro and they die like in the safe spot, it's pretty much a wipe.
Yeah.
So don't over aggro as well.
It also means if your rotation would be to walk to this boss next, you just go to the safe spot and wait your marks off there, and not try to like be quick and go to the next boss in the rotation because you still have the debuff on and you are dead. So you have to wait for them to drop off at some point, and you will stand in the middle and do nothing for a minute at a time, and it is perfectly fine.
Yeah, especially when Zeliak is usually the last horseman that stands, and melee you can't go in on Zeliak. You're gonna chain. So you probably spend like a minute or two just doing nothing while the range kills Zeliak.
You can shit talk the caster who's doing the least damage, but that's like all you can do in this last minute or two of the fight. And yes, it will hurt your parses, but we don't give a shit.
Yeah, you can think, but initially we'll play it safe, or the standard strategy, which is what we just explained, the front two. And if that goes well, we can start talking about rotating between three of them, including Blimo. The only thing you can't rotate to is Zeliak, as said.
Nuking is also not really favorable because of the 50 and 25% they do the shield wall.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask is actually, which tactic are we going to use as DPS wise? Are we just going with save horse, or do we save horse?
Sorry, come again?
Which rotation or tactic are we going to use as a DPS wise? Are we going with save horse, or are we going with save horse?
You'll be split in 3 groups, and each has like Group 1, Mograine, Thane, safe spot. Then Group 2, Thane, safe spot, Mograine. And Group 3 starts at the safe spot, and it goes Mograine, Thane. So there's like 3 DPS groups moving and rotating.
Right, okay, so save horse, okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the tank rotation.
Yeah, okay, fine.
You also like 3 groups because you also have you always have to have people on the meteor guide so the tank doesn't get one shot. So you have like 2 small groups of DPS and then 1 big group moving around.
I understand. It's just I want to know more what we're gonna do.
When we're killing the first 2, do we have a range group, or do the range move on to which one is it?
Zeliak? The chain lightning guy?
Nah, the meteor guy. Do the range need to move into melee range to soak the...
Yes. Yeah. Healers too, I think. Everybody just moves in. If you're on Thane, you just move in.
Does he always meter the tank?
No,
Random people.
One random person in 35 yards, I think it is.
Oh, wait, they killed it there.
I have one more thing for the healers on the Four Horsemen. Do we have an image for me of the chain lightning guy? Please.
Yeah, that is not this guy. Okay, he died here.
Monk and you said a good one.
Yeah, like he's thanking.
Pause it here. Pause it now. Yeah, okay, here's fine. You will have the healers will always come from the right side in this still, and your next rotation will be on the left side of the still. Since he is doing a chain lightning, the healers cannot stand on top of each other or run through each other, so please watch out what the other people are doing. So if you are coming in and there's lots of room on your left side on the screen, please go all the way you can, so you have room for the next healer that's arriving at the position. Because all of the healers will arrive at the same side, but you need to leave on the other side, and you would chain through each other in the worst case and kill 3 healers with 1 chain. So watch out your environment, and if you can move, because there's not a whole lot of damage going on right now, try to move towards the exit, basically where you want to leave the room soonish.
But not too far to get marks from the other.
Exactly, it's a bit of a you need to open your eyes and think a lot.
Yep.
When to move, how far to move, and not stand in the way, because if you are 3 healers there, assuming we didn't fuck up the rotation before, then one of the healers will leave at the next mark, the next healer after that, and then you will leave. So you need to always keep that in mind.
Yeah, you were talking about didn't we used to have the healers running in a circle?
Yep.
Yeah, so you're gonna be coming from the void zone guy here, so you're gonna move into here, and you're gonna have 3 healers or 2 on this on this boss. So you have 1 guy moving in here, and then you wait here, and the other guy is here. Then when this guy moves over to the next, you move over here to make room for the healer that's coming after you from this side. So here, so you have a chain reaction, and then you can always see, okay, there's 1 healer here, he's leaving, is there another healer coming? Okay, good, I'm moving up, and that way we should always have healers on every boss.
Then it's just 3 components like healers, tanks, DPS working separately from each other. Like if you're a healer, you don't care about the DPS rotation. You just need to know your number and where you're supposed to be. If you're a DPS, you don't care how the healers are doing. You just need to know where you're going. And if everybody is in the correct spot, the fight works. Yeah, it's a much more complex fight than most other fights. If we're gonna wipe here until people get a feel for it for the rhythm.
But I guess with the assignments in general for next, maybe we should start with 4 horsemen, and then people can ask questions really. I mean, I know it would be helpful for me to drill it. Where exactly do I walk and when?
You mean during the raid, or?
No. Let's say tomorrow or Tuesday or whenever we get the actual Excel sheets and assignments out.
Yeah. We'll post them and people can ask questions and things like that.
Yeah, but if we do post a partial one, it might be useful to start with 4 horsemen so people can see and check their duties.
4 horsemen is already out.
The whole thing is up, I think.
Okay.
The name is missing, but the general sheet is there.
Sorry, I had to come in and just add something. It's fine.
Sure.
I know it sounds complicated when Jay and Lesko and everything goes through the mechanics of this fight, but it's much simpler than you actually think. Once you get 1 or 2 tries in, you're gonna realize how easy it actually is.
It's just switching places all the time.
Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming just watching it and the first time, but you shouldn't worry.
It's also super hard to explain it by words.
Yeah. I was learning how to write it down. That makes sense, but once you're in it and you know what to do, it makes sense once you're in the fight.
Yeah, it's much
Just
easier than
hit.
you actually think, so don't worry about the fight itself.
The simple explanation is just you look at your debuff bar, you see it count to 3, you move, you go in the same circle.
Yeah, for healer, for example, yes.
Yeah, you have a
got off my-
safe zone in the middle. You just follow the same path and you'll see the map of it.
It's basically a dance. Once you
But-
get the hang of it, it's fine.
But you can still see them wiping, so
Yeah.
it's easy to mess
Yeah,
up.
fuck-ups happen.
These are guilds that have been playing this game for
Easiest
like
force
5
to,
years.
Wipe.
They still wipe.
Oh, if we display if we wipe, it's fine.
They also
Fine,
wipe on
then.
Thresh also.
Yeah, it's because as soon as one thing goes wrong, it pretty much always falls apart completely.
It's hard to salvage, yeah.
I have a question about Ziliak. How do we finish Ziliak at the end? Like, if you're not supposed to be close to anyone?
You get in groups of 2. Like if you're ranged, you like look for a partner and stand on him, and then DPS from a safe distance to the other group.
Okay.
Like
Few
just
range at a
small
time.
groups in 2s.
Even stacking as 3 shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, all 3.
If you have low stacks, you're in no danger of dying.
Like at this, if Celiac is left as the last one, it doesn't matter how long we take to kill it. Just keep it safe and like don't die. That's all. Like if you're a tank, for example, you just chill at the safe spot for whenever the current tank needs relief, and you do nothing else. You just wait for a call.
Yeah, same for all the guys that are like concerned about their passes. It's just one of the fights where it's better to just be a bit careful and not care about the extra DPS you get.
Well, everyone has to do this fight this way anyway, so...
Yeah.
If there's Jesus, we're probably gonna
Yeah.
see it.
Everyone's passes will be shit, so don't worry about them.
Also, you can see it here. You have to, like, if you're tanking, tank the boss, like, so he's facing towards the middle of the room, so he has to walk through you if, like, something goes wrong. And so you have more time to taunt as well.
Also to get him further away, so you have more leeway at the safe spot without marks.
As you can see, you have to be very fast with the Void Suns, because they do a lot of damage. So always look at your feet when you're at Blumo. Are there any questions about the Death Knight Wing in general? I know Forceman is overwhelming, but we'll post some images, and we'll just go in Thursday and see how it goes.
The access, shall we use like Stone Shield Potion? Are they hurting that much with the cleave or?
Which one?
The flying access.
No, they should die really fast.
I have a comment about Mograine for warriors. The fire attack thing is a chance on hit, and it's associated with his weapon. So if you disarm him, then he just straight up doesn't do the fire damage.
Oh yeah.
And it's very dangerous.
All of the horsemen are disarmable, so you can just keep it on cooldown. as
Yes,
you go.
but it's especially important for Mograine, and the other guys don't do that much damage.
Yeah, if you have high stacks and there's no tank to take over, might be worth to try to save that disarm, like for a phase where you have a lot of pressure on you.
Should get the disarm weapon. There was a disarm weapon which can disarm on hit for 10 seconds.
Everybody equipped Lincoln's boomerang.
It's not Lincoln's, it's a weapon. It's the on-hit effect.
Yeah, Lincoln is a trinket. Duh.
No, so
Yeah.
I'm just giving you more options. Jeez.
Nerds.
Oh my god. Any other questions about the Death Knight Wing?
How will you use the real trinket you found forever in Ursula Group?
Just every time you come up and taunt.
Yeah. You go in, you pop it, you taunt.
That doesn't work out
That
with you.
doesn't work.
It's like 1 minute cooldown.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Shatterer.
It's 1 minute 15 seconds, isn't it?
So you're gonna have it like every second.
So you probably try to taunt normally once, and if you miss the taunt, then you use real for the second taunt to as a backup.
Yeah.
Or you pop it when you run in.
Yeah.
How long does it last?
20, is it?
Well, that's 2 taunts, right?
15 seconds.
Ooh. Oh yeah, taunt once, and if it fails, use the real for the second one, I guess.
It kind of depends on the situation. If the other tank has pretty high stacks, so like that's one of the things you do as a tank. You should set up your UI so you see targets of target debuffs, and when you see that the current tank has like 4 or 5 stacks, just pop it whenever.
Yeah, I think there's no the best system to use it, but like you just have to be smart about like when it's really important that it doesn't miss. Like if you have a leeway, if you're coming in on 3 stacks, like the tank just got 3 stacks, it's probably fine if you resist 1 taunt and you can save the trinket cooldown. But as Agri said, like if it's a dire situation, it's good to have that option that like, okay, I can make sure the tank does not or the taunt does not resist now.
Yeah, also important are the mechanics of challenging shout and mocking blow. Just don't use these unless you 100% know how the abilities work from a technical point of view.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work like a normal taunt. It doesn't match your threat with the other guy. Like when they run out, worst case is the other tank went to another 4 horseman guy or to the safe zone or whatever, and then the boss just turns around and follows that guy there, and we have a confirmed wipe.
Exactly. So, any last questions about Death Knight Wing before we wrap it up?
Yeah. So, is it fine to use pets on the 4 horsemen? Do they also get the debuff?
I mean, the pet will probably just die. I don't know what gets debuffed or what hits the pet or not. Like, for example, Thaddeus as well. I don't know if he gets a charge. So I think it's safe to just dismiss pets on uncertain bosses, or probably the Hunter Discord has some info on the stuff already. So maybe
it will probably get stacks, and on Thaddeus it will get no charge, so it will just die.
Okay, and do you have any tips for like DPS cooldowns? Do you just use them when you get out of the...
They will... You use them at the start, I think, and then you push the first shield wall. They do 2 shield walls, one at 50% and one at 20%, I think. So you try to get the first shield wall out as soon as possible, so you pop it, and then push to 50% and the shield wall, and eventually you run out, and then you just use it as you have them up, I think. So
then it's also kind of personal because you are in one of the 3 DPS groups, and maybe it just doesn't fit for you to pop the cooldowns at that point.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Gotta manage it like somehow.
Yeah, just don't use them in shield walls at 50 and 20%.
And before we start the fight, do we pre-pot any protection pots?
Fire,
and you can also put the shadow. Yeah.
Okay.
But the shadow gets eaten like after like the 3rd or 5th mark.
It will go away very fast. But the fire is very useful for a thing because of the meteor.
And holy protection.
Of course, for the chain lightning.
Hey, that 900 may save a life.
You never know. Then I think we'll wrap it up here. We'll post some pictures about this fight before we go in, so it's a bit more visually clear where you're supposed to move for every role.
Nice. Thank you very much.
I've been thinking.
You have
How
been...
many...
Wow, you've been thinking.
Oh
Okay,
shit!
the guild is truly ruined now.
Yeah, but you only need like 10 people to kill the boss initial group, right? Fist boss, that is.